This is Kappa Go for February 27th, 2026. Keep up to date with the important happenings in the Go community in about 20 minutes per week. I'm Shai Ahmad.
And I'm Jonathan Hall.
And I forgot to say it at the top of the show, so this show is supported by you. Stick around till the ad break to hear more about that. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. My wife just got a job offer. We're getting ready to buy a new car so that we have two of them.
So time. American.
Yeah, we need it here. We live in the middle of nowhere. So
I actually am holding on so hard to having only one car. Israeli listeners who listen are like, what the hell are you talking about? But I tell you, after I moved here, it's very different. All the Europeans are like, what do you mean? Yeah. What do you need the car for? You just...
One of the things I was looking for when we moved to the Netherlands was to not own a car. And we didn't own a car for the first year or so we were there. And then once we did buy a car, we used it once or twice a week at best. So, we use it daily now. And once my wife has a job, it'll be 2 days in the office in Atlanta. So she'll be commuting to work twice a week. We'll need two cars.
Yesterday, I POC'd the new way to commute. Took the train, Caltrain. Mm-hmm. So I biked to the train and then put my bike on the train and then got to San Francisco and biked off. And the entire way, I was talking to someone about Go. It was so cool. Someone from Airtable. They don't use Go there. They use TypeScript, apparently. But I made a new Go friend on the train. So if you're listening, Aaron, this is my podcast. Hey, ostensibly, we talk about Go news. So let's talk about some Go news.
Oh, that's a good idea.
First up, we're just giving you a heads up that probably next week, 126.1 and 125.8 are going to have some security releases next week, Tuesday. So we don't know what those are yet for private CVEs. So we'll report next week. We promise to follow up.
Awesome. So security. Next week, we'll talk about that. Next up, GoLab is coming back in Italy. Bologna? Is that how you pronounce that word? Coming November 1st through 3rd. And the call for papers is open, or call for proposals, I guess, until April 13th. So if you want to be in Italy and want to talk about Go, check out the show notes for the link or Google for it to find out how to submit your proposal to the GoLab conference.
The common American pronunciation of the lunch meat bologna is bologna.
Yeah. But I don't know. Is that how you pronounce that? I don't know how that's supposed to be pronounced in English.
Yeah. It seems not like how you say it.
Is it Bologna, Italy? Because that sounds insulting, honestly. As
Bologna. Bologna.
If you're an Italian or you speak Italian, let us know how this is pronounced.
What's up with this conference? It looks so good.
So I haven't been to GoLab before, although I had a friend at the Amsterdam Go meetup who presented there a couple years ago. Yeah. Don't really have any firsthand experience to share.
It looks really good. I think last year their website was. I really liked it as well. It's a funny thing to notice in a mostly backend language, but yeah, it looks good. Rust Lab 2026 will happen on the same date. You know, you could maybe dance on both weddings, sort of situation. Do one day at the Go conference, one day at the Rust conference. That sounds like a good way to spend your time, honestly, in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Their talks that they're looking for are like 45-minute sessions and workshops as well. That can be 3 or 6 hours long, more like a practical case study in an interactive format. And I have a question about a workshop. Like 6 years ago, I would go to a workshop. 3 years ago, I would go to a workshop, no problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Everybody opens their IDE and codes together with the speaker. But what do you do in a workshop now? Just everybody looks at a Claude terminal for 6 hours. Like, what do you do? Honestly, I'm trying to figure it out, right? Because you could encode something in the workshop into a skill and just have Claude do it. I know the whole point is not to do it and to learn.
Right.
But don't you think that someone in the audience will just have Claude open with the voice mode and it will like automatically... Can you like have a Claude attend a workshop and then synthesize it into a skill? Like, what are we doing?
So I've been wondering about that in a broader sense of just like language, programming courses and stuff like that. And even like, I want to get back into the live streaming my live coding, but I use Claude now. Like, it would be boring to watch that. I think it's not the same as it used to be. So I don't even know. The whole thing has changed.
Like watching a compiler. going.
Yeah. Does somebody want to watch me Claude code stuff? And if so, is that even valuable? I mean, maybe it's interesting in the sort of like watching a train wreck sense or watching gamers online or something, but is it educational? I don't know.
Me neither. Yeah. And the conference is like a while from now, right? When November. Is it happening?
November.
By November? Oh my God. Who knows what will happen by November?
We'll have Opus 25 out by then.
I just want to state, I'm not one of these doomers who's like, oh, there's no point in coding. Just yesterday, like me and a coworker worked and Claude just misled us and I had to fix it. And I had to just actually read the code and think about it for a second. Even on low level coding stuff, I'm not even talking about the fact that, you need a lot of context to get stuff done. But still, like, I don't know. I would feel kind of weird doing a 6-hour workshop on a very technical subject. Mm-hmm. Although I have some good ones, but in November, I don't know. If you have a good one, then you should submit it to Go Live. And you're in Italy at the same time.
I saw a charming blog post. You want to tell us about it?
Nice. So, Charm. They make cool stuff in the command line.
Like TUI stuff mostly, right? Or is it true command line?
I think it's considered terminal UI. They have all these elements. I use Gum all the time, which is really nice.
All right.
Which is just for shell scripts. But it's all like building on top of another. They have like physics-based animation toolkit for the terminal, and a little logger for the terminal, a markdown renderer, and SSH apps, and a style thing called Lipgloss, and the form thing, and a user interface like infrastructure thing. It's a lot of stuff. I think their main product right now is called Crush, which is like a term talking about Claude. It's sort of a Claude code thing. It's like a terminal UI agentic coder. It's called Glamorous. The description is Glamorous Agentic Coding for All. Yeah, that's what this company does. And in one fell swoop, they released all their things in version 2. Bubble Tea and Lipgloss and Bubbles are all V2s now.
Do you know, did they actually implement breaking changes to justify that? Or was this just a branding decision? Or, why a V2 suddenly? And why all at the same time?
So first of all, this is a breaking change. You do need an upgrade. It's very clear what sort of thing they believe in, because the upgrade guide is like, you have a page called What's New, and they say that's for humans. And then they have a link called Upgrade Guide, which is for LLMs. So I think they expect you to go through this like migration checklist where you have to, change view string to view type T view and replace t.key message with t.key press message. It's like a proper migration. So it's definitely a breaking change. And the way it's written, it seems like it's written for either a very, very pedantic person or a coding agent that needs to go through it. Why did they make this new release? So it's not just marketing. Although I do think, they do use it as a marketing opportunity, which is good. Of course.
Yeah.
Generally, their belief is AI agents moved into the terminal, and suddenly the terminal is the most powerful way to interface with the operating system. I don't know. This is not news for me, but
suddenly, like that's been true since before the GUI existed. But okay.
I think it's a pendulum, right? People use the terminal and they're like, oh, we should make GUI applications. And then GUI applications.
I suppose I wouldn't want to do image editing with a CLI.
Yeah. What do you mean? You have FFmpeg. What's the problem? No.
I have image magic. What do I need? What else
memorize every single flag. Yeah. Anyway, what they say is they changed the internal renderer because the terminal now needs to do a lot of things. So rendering is faster. What they say is for applications running over SSH, the changes are monetarily quantifiable, which I like as an approach. And they do more stuff. You can do clipboard transfer over SSH. You can do inline images, which is super nice. So, it's like they're taking full advantage of things the terminal can do. So that's the version 2. If you used any of the either Bubble Tea, Lipgloss, or Bubbles, so like the lower level like implementation libraries of Charm, then you need to upgrade. If you use the apps like Pop, which is their email terminal thing, or Mods, which is their AI in the terminal thing, Wishlist or VHS or SoftServe, like all these, or Glow or Skate, they have so many things going on over there. Then you need you don't need to upgrade. Their apps will just like work for you. And I don't know, that sort of reminded me that at some point I wanted to try out Crush. I might just try it like today and let you know what I think next week.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'm very heavily into Claude right now, so it'd be interesting to see what the competition offers. Although the main thing, like, it's mostly changing my workflow. Like the specific terminal thing I'm using doesn't super matter. But hey, if it's in Go, I'm willing to try it for sure.
Oh, all right.
So a V2 for the upgrade. A V2 for the terminal, or at least some parts of it.
Speaking of version numbers.
Oh, nice.
Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I can't remember that we talked about.
It was -1 or -2?
Yeah.
Is that what you were asking?
Exactly, yeah. Was it episode .n-1 or -2? We talked about Go Mod init changes that were introduced in 1.26. So if you do Go Mod init, we talked about, I remember now, we talked about it both of the previous 2 episodes because I made a mistake in how I described it 2 episodes ago, corrected it last episode. So the new feature is that Go Mod init will now init a new module to the previous version of Go. So if you're using 126, it will init to 125. This has upset a few people. Highlights, there's a new proposal now to change it back to the old behavior. Highlights that I'll just call out, and maybe you have some to add. It never went through a proposal process, apparently. So there wasn't really this community opportunity to comment on it and hash it out. It just kind of happened and kind of sprung on the community as a surprise.
Wait, how did it happen? How did it happen if it didn't go through the proposal process?
I'm not sure. But a lot of things, I think, do that. Most of them are non-controversial, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I don't know. This is my guess. The Go team has control over the Go project, and they can implement things that make sense. And the proposal process is a way for the community to get involved. So if it's something internal to the Go team and they don't think it's going to be controversial, they may not do that. I don't think there was anybody trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. There was no ill intent here. It seemed like a pretty obvious quick win, I think, to the people who did it. And it got some surprising backlash. I guess from you included, right? You didn't like the new feature.
Backlash is a strong word. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like I would have to remember to upgrade every time I run Go Mod init.
Yeah.
How often do I run Go Mod init? Come on.
Yeah. I mean, I only do it 2 or 3 times a day, so it's not that big of a deal. Anyway.
2-3 times a day. What the hell? Just keep giving up on projects.
It looks like the consensus on the conversation here is towards a revert with a small change, and that is that when you do Go Mod init, it'll probably display something on the console saying you initialize this with Go version X. Be aware of the consequences of doing that. So people who are unintentionally creating modules with versions that are too new will at least have some visual reminder to consider changing that if they want to. Seems to me like a fair compromise. I don't know. I could go either way on this one. I don't have a strong opinion.
What I liked is that now that the consensus seems to be let's change it back, they're like, okay, let's do it super fast. Let's release it in the next version and just forget this ever happened. Put it behind us.
I guess this isn't a compatibility issue, right? Because it's
just a behavior
library, so it's just tooling, and it doesn't even break tooling compatibility. So it's a pretty easy thing to revert if they choose to do that.
Well, I guess next week we'll update on the update on the update on the fix on the update.
Yeah.
Final thing we want to mention this week, in the news section at least, is a really good blog post from a friend of the show, Filippo. Filippo was here when? Wow, that was so long ago, right? Now I'm suddenly about to say it. I don't even remember. Was it 2 years ago? No. Really?
It was March 8, 2024, almost exactly 2 years ago.
I have a good sense of time. I have a good internal clock. And here's a snippet from that interview.
Hi, everyone. I'm Filippo Valsorda. I've been maintaining the Go cryptography standard library since 2018. I've done that first at Google as the lead of the Go security team, and these days I'm doing it as an independent open source maintainer.
Anyway, so Filippo put out a really good blog post called "Turn Dependabot Off," and I'll start by saying I use Dependabot and I have to use it, and I have an SLA for looking at alerts it pops up to fulfill my legal obligations to my customers.
Aren't you in a leadership role? Can't you change your SLAs?
I'm like, no, it's the SLA is from SOC 2. It's like just a legal thing, right?
They care about specifically Dependabot.
The compliance is sort of just vague enough, but what it says is if it's you have to have something that pops up security issues.
Okay.
And based on their severity, you have X time to answer, and we will measure it. And you have to measure it. And when the auditors come, you have to prove that you're doing it. And you know what? Like, that is actually good.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Yeah.
However, Dependabot specifically pisses me off. I use it with PNPM, and PNPM itself has security vulnerabilities as well. So I have to keep that stuff updated. Dependabot doesn't support the latest versions of PNPM. So I end up getting alerts from Dependabot, but even having to fix them manually. And a lot of them are not correct. A lot of them are like, oh, this dev server that you're using, that's not even in your production thing, that's just happening when you run a linter, that has a medium level severity. And then I have to just dismiss it, spend some time, spend some effort. I only have so much effort during the day. So my general consensus when I look at this stuff is toil that you have to do, and you have to take it seriously, because sometimes it does pull up serious things. It creates a lot of noise, which was why I was so happy to see this blog post from Filippo, starting with the words, "Turn Dependabot off. Dependabot is a noise machine." I highly recommend reading it. It's not that long, but if you use Go, Filippo has a offer here for a better dependency vulnerability management process, like supply chain security process, which takes into consideration the concept of reachability. What does that mean, Jonathan? What does reachability mean?
Just because a package, and he uses his own package as an example, right? Just because a package has a security vulnerability doesn't mean that your code executes that code.
Exactly.
And so this particular vulnerability, in fact, I've seen Dependabot trigger this on some of my own projects, and I've just ignored it now that for the time since I read his blog post. But yeah, so he provided a security fix for an obscure function that almost nobody uses, and a feature that almost nobody uses. But that
so even within that function, if you call it, it's not necessarily relevant to you. Right. It's not necessarily reachable.
So it's this very obscure corner case in obscure code that virtually nobody uses, but it's now more correct. But Dependabot would have you believe, oh my gosh, all my SSH keys are insecure now, or effectively.
And obviously, our show doesn't have, or me personally, I don't have anything against GitHub specifically. There are a lot of security scanners that do the same thing.
Right.
However, Filippo points out there's one that doesn't. Go vulncheck. So Go vulncheck does take reachability into consideration. And if you run Go vulncheck instead, you'll get a silent report. Also important to know that the package he's talking about with that obscure function is imported by MySQL. So a ton of people, thousands of PRs have been opened. Again, even though in reality, MySQL doesn't call it. So obviously, transitively, you don't call it as well. And you don't import it directly. So you have no way to call this function, basically. So it's a totally useless PR, a lot of noise. I'm wondering, how did we get here? That's maybe a bit of a philosophical discussion. Someone in the GitHub organization has a KPI to create, has an SLA. Once a thing has been released, you have to give it a CV score, and you have to open the PRs as fast as possible, blah, blah, blah. But generally, I think a very sensible advice. If you use Go, you can use a Go vulncheck instead. And he literally puts the entire the entire GitHub action thing you need. So you can just copy paste it from his blog post, which is super nice. Just a very good blog post. Also, he recommends testing against latest instead of updating, which is another great piece of advice, which means every night, test everything against the latest dependencies, but don't upgrade them. Just make sure that they all work. And then,
No, by latest, you mean the latest Go vulncheck or something else?
Just the latest version of all your libraries.
Oh, I see. Got it.
Just
So a
always
separate
test
CI
against
job
the
that-
latest version of all your libraries, but release them when you want to.
So it sort of does like a go get dot slash dot 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 to update everything, make sure test still pass.
Exactly. Go get minus u
Makes
minus
sense.
t dot slash dot dot dot, and then go test everything. You get the benefit of testing the updated dependencies, but by running CI against them, but without actually updating them. You get alerted quickly of any potential issues, but you don't have to pay attention to like uninteresting updates. Defer the like big update to whenever fits you. And finally, it's a lot safer. If there is a supply chain attack, the way he calls it, which I liked it, is it has a short half-life. I would maybe say it has a short shelf life. But generally, once there's a supply chain attack, if it's widespread in a widespread dependency that you also use, someone will wise up to it at some point, and they'll like revert that old version. Like if you always update to the latest versions of everything, you are certain to at some point include the supply chain attack in your code. But if you just like wait and upgrade all of them at once, and you just grab the like 1 week before, but that worked because 1 week before your CI passed, you're still on relatively latest versions of everything. Maybe not the latest, but also you're a lot safer from supply chain attack. And he even suggests using stuff like, which I wasn't aware of, sandboxed step. So, you can even if you're worried about the latest dependencies doing weird stuff in your CI, you can use sandbox step to make sure they don't have a lot of permissions. Super useful. I love this blog post. Great job, Filippo. And honestly, I wish I used Go so I can take this advice, but I'm going to take the second part because the second part is relevant to any stack of testing again instead of updating. I'll do that like very soon. Maybe even today. It's Friday, so I don't know if I want to mess up with CI. Maybe next week.
All right. One last quick mention before we move on to our break and a quick lightning round. We talked a few weeks ago about generic methods. That proposal has been accepted. So look for those coming in Bill 127.
Yeah, we talked about it in the live episode. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so yes, we do have generic functions, but we have not had generic methods yet. Now, let me clarify. At the moment, you can have a generic method. You can have a method on a generic type. That's possible today. But you cannot have a generic method. That is to say, you cannot have a type parameter in the method definition. And the reason for that historically has been that the view of the Go team was that the reason to have methods is to satisfy interfaces. That's an important thing to remember here, right?
Yeah, so you explained it then. I have to admit, I still don't fully understand it now, but if people think it's a good idea, that sounds good to me.
All right, let's do a quick break, and then I think we have a couple lightning round items before we wrap up the show.
As mentioned at not exactly the top of the show, this show is supported by you. If you want to help us, cupago.dev, you can find all the links there. Best way to support the show is to sign up to our Patreon. And you can also share it with your coworkers, co-friends. That's a new one. Co-workers.
Co-friends.
Co-students, whatever. Yeah. We don't want to linger too much on the ad break because people have been complaining it's getting too long. But we just want to say thanks a lot for listening and talking with us on our Slack channel. I've been learning a lot from people posting there. You see the usual characters, but I also meet some new people. And, I love it. For example, Jeremy Foran, I think that's the first time I saw you in the channel. Maybe you talked there before. Great link on, by the way, Filippo saying GitHub GitHub Dependabot is a noise machine. Made it to like the clickbaity title. Did you see the clickbaity title? I loved it. Go lib maintainer : GitHub's Dependabot is a noise machine.
Go lib maintainer. That's an interesting title. It sounds more impressive than I think it is.
I mean, they couldn't say Filippo because they would confuse him with our editor.
That's right.
Both same prominent figures in the Go ecosystem, right? You can't have too many.
All right.
Anyway, we just want to say thanks a lot for listening.
I think one important thing to talk about, you're going to be taking some time off, and we want to do a shout out for anybody who wants to co-host the show with me. Do you want to tell us those dates, or is that
Oh, yes.
yet.
Thank you for reminding me. End of March, which is coming up soon, is Passover. And for my plan is to fly back to visit my family in Israel and to not work too much and to not record podcasts. So it's going to be like 2 weeks, end of March, beginning of April, where Jonathan is going to need a different co-host. What are your requirements?
My requirements are that you must use Go in production. Oh, wait, that would disqualify you, Shai.
Hey, I'm using Go in production.
Oh, okay.
Go dry up. I use Go in production.
Requirements are few. You need to be able to speak English.
Hate Python.
You have to hate Python. You have to be able to meet with me on a recording platform. Yeah, it's pretty simple. If you've never done a podcast,
have a nice microphone.
Nice microphone helps, but it's not a deal breaker, but it's a nice. Requirements are easy. Basically, if you want to do it, let's do it. Reach out to me on Slack or email. You can find my email on the cupofgo.dev website.
Yes, it is news@cupofgo.dev. News@cupofgo.dev.
What was that address again? One more time?
I know I always say it twice. It's just how I always hear professional podcasters like the Macro boys whenever they have like an email or a code. Use code to get a discount. Once again, that's code .
Call the number on your screen now.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's enough. Let's do a lightning round.
Yep. Lightning round.
First up, Datastar. The website is kind of cool. It has this like moving, Starfield, Star Wars style font. And anyway, Datastar is a lightweight framework for building everything from simple sites to real-time collaborative web apps. It's not written in Go, but it's written by a Go developer. It's a front-end framework. But if you look at the data, if you look at the Datastar repo, there is Go in the repo, even if the framework itself isn't written in Go. Because it's a JavaScript framework, but it's designed for people who need a lightweight framework, and maybe you're a back-end heavy sort of developer, don't really want to learn all the bells and whistles that maybe a front-end developer would do. Check it out, Datastar. Link in the show notes.
I have to admit the site is very nice. This is not an SPA framework, so if you're looking to replace React, maybe not.
Maybe not the one.
Not the one, but if you're looking to implement something cool with reactivity, state in the right place, back-end driven front-end situation, could be cool. My thing for the lightning round is also a neat project, Postgres Parser. So I'm a Postgres Andy. You know that about me. I love Postgres. And apparently there's a new Antler. Do you know what the Antler is? ANTLR?
No.
It's another tool for language recognition. So you can like write Antler parsers to parse programming languages or file formats in various languages. I've seen it a few times already. Also in cybersecurity, sometimes you try to parse, like specific files that are malicious using Antler parsers. I've seen it around. It's an Antler-based query parser for Go. So you can like extract tables, columns, joins, CTEs, whatever, in Go, if you just have a SQL string, which I find very useful because you can take SQL strings and write linters and whatever using it. You can do parse SQL and you get the command, you get the tables, the columns, the where, the join conditions, the group by, the column usage, all as like objects in Go. How cool is that? I'm like, and it also works with JSONB, which is very important because I've been using JSONB a lot recently. It knows how to parse that. I don't know how it does that. That's crazy, but it does it. I guess if Postgres can parse it, it is technically parsable.
It's possible, yeah.
Although at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if there's just a little gremlin sitting inside every Postgres server trying to understand my queries. But anyway, a very cool project. I like it a lot. I'm not sure when I'll use it, but I'm very happy that it's there. It's not Postgres internal server parser. It's written in Go. That's the important part. It's like pure Go. However, because it's not the internal server parser, there might be edge cases, right? Postgres has versions and things change in versions. There might be problems. It's not exactly.
Do they change in the current version or the N-1 version? Or never mind.
Nice.
Never mind.
So Postgres Parser by ValkDB. Very cool.
Awesome.
I think that wraps up the show.
I think it does. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Then don't forget, if you want to host, talk to Jonathan, or just put it on the Slack channel.
Program exited.
Program exited.
Program exited. Goodbye.